I am the master of spray paint and wire loom. So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to start off by saying this is probably the last Bronco video for the next probably 3 weeks or so. As it turns out, I'm heading out to Havasu in a week where we're pretty much going to go all balls on the 57 convertible, which should be really cool, as I know that's why a lot of you guys recently subscribed to the channel. So with that being said, we're going to get to work on this, try to get as much done as possible in the next couple days before we jump on a plane. And before I forget, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends. So let's get to it. Alright, so we're all set after an epic battle of Scott versus the plastic on the floor, which the floor ended up winning. It came out pretty good. It's not too rough, which is what I wanted. I was going for a smoother look, at least in the last 2 Jeeps that I did. So yeah, this is about 60 PSI. Went around, checked everything. Thank God I didn't miss anything. Did burn through about 2 cans. But yeah, pretty happy. The bed no longer has any yellow in it. Now it's still a little tiny bit wet, but looks good. And I had enough to do the back of this, which was fine anyway, but it did have a little bit of yellow spatter. So we're gonna let this dry, and tomorrow hopefully start putting this together, get it back to running and driving, which is exciting for me at least. There is like literally no way that this big piece is gonna fit in there. I mean, this is definitely a problem. I mean, it's got to go here, and this is sticking down way far, so that's obviously in the wrong spot, or just been rigged somewhere along the way. We'll figure it out. Okay, so tried jamming it in all different sorts of ways, kept getting stuck on the tire and whatnot. Managed to scratch up the shock pretty good. So decided we're going to take the tire off and go from there. We already know that this line, power steering line, that's going to be a problem. You can see it protrudes down like 4 inches or so from this outer structure here. So we're going to take the tire off. Good thing I checked, because these are just hand tight. All of them except for that one, which is rusted and stripped. So I'm going to go off camera here. Probably do a lot of bitching, crying, cursing, whatnot. And hopefully next time you see this, the tire will be off. Alright, so we're getting kind of close. Back looks like it's going to clear, except for the goofy brake line, which these are all getting redone in a couple weeks anyway. This front power steering line, that's pretty much what's holding me up now, but I'm just going to keep on massaging it a little bit, trying not to break it. And I think we'll be okay. It's gonna be tight though. So let's keep moving it a little bit. See where we end up. Actually, I'll pop this down. Probably not gonna be able to see nothing. Wow. Nice stuff. We might be okay there. All right, I think we're in. We're a little bit more massaging on that line. But for the most part, you know, it's got to come up a little tiny bit. Maybe move it forward a hair. Kind of stuck there. Slight gap. But all right, I think this is gonna work. So right now we're just gonna use self tappers, and then later on today we'll install some riv nuts when my new riv nut tool comes. Oh, look at that. It actually does fit. And I have just a tiny bit of clearance, but you don't need much. So I was about 10 seconds away from cutting this down here. And when I say 10 seconds, I mean, I actually started a little bit right there. And then I realized that this was wrong. You know, I put this back together the exact way I got it. Had this rubber bushing underneath here. And then when I looked back here, I saw that it has the rubber bushing on top of the black bushing. So I figured that's probably like a 2.5 inch lift now instead of a 2 inch. And going through my box of parts, I did find one other red one of these. So I guess I'm just missing one, but I don't think we need one under there. So yeah, we're pretty much in. Pretty much right where we're gonna be. We're just gonna go put some self tappers in here just to hold it. And then when the riv nuts come, then we can separate it, drill it out, put the riv nuts in, and be good. You know, touch up our shock later. We're not worried about that for now. So yeah, it seems like the only way to really do these is with the tire off. So now we both know. All right, so what I did not think was going to fit, it actually fits. I do have clearance for steering coupler. These lines are right here on it, but they're not going to affect anything. So basically at this point, I'm just going to go through, throw a bunch of self tappers in, like I did here. Get it all lined up. They will be switched out to riv nuts. Put the tire on, lower it down, make sure I have no problems. Then I can yank it all apart and do the other side. So let's get started. We're eyeballing it. Just measure it. It's this wrench plus 2 fingers. Nailed it. Cool. All right, now I think we got to make some braces of some sort. I just don't trust this thing kind of floating there. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere, but pretty sure we got some aluminum hiding around here somewhere. All right. I think we're going to make ourselves a little support bracket. I mean, it's not loose, but we don't really need it moving around anyway, and we're just easy enough just to make a bracket. Going right from here straight up. Just throw a self-tapper into there, self-tapper into there, and call it done. Alrighty, so I think we're pretty much done with the driver's side here. See, we're all in, everything clears, just barely. Went through, basically someone kind of had a hodgepodge holes all over, so we just went with 4 new holes there, and then 1 up top. They're all going to get riv nutted. These are going to get riv nuts. Went through, made a little tiny aluminum bracket right here, just 1 screw, but yeah, she ain't moving. So we're gonna throw the tire on, lower it down, just make sure. I mean, I can't see anything happening, but it doesn't hurt. Rather do it now than when it's painted. Catch you on the other side. Okay, so here we are on this side. I really don't foresee much of a problem here. I mean, there's hardly anything here other than the battery tray. And I got to get this in. I got to get it screwed in, all mocked up. I got to find a home for starter solenoid. Ooh, that's loose. Oh, that was a ground. Voltage regulator. Oh, I see someone did some weight reduction. Guess they hit it with a hammer. So, you know, we're just going to throw the old GoPro down, see if this fits in here. Okay, so I was definitely wrong. Turns out this is the hard side. Besides having the battery tray in the way, I got this whole hodgepodge of electronics in here that I'm going to have to relocate. Dipstick, that kind of gets in the way. And then there's that little gap coming off the exhaust. That kind of gets in the way. So yeah, not a fun time. So I'm going to get the outside of this back on, try to line this up, and we'll go from there. So we're back. We got everything all mocked up. As you can see, what I thought was going to be the easy one, this one actually sucked. I found it much easier, and I'm going to do it on the other side. Just take this whole support out, slide it in where you need it, and then put it in. But while I was in there, I redid some of the electric. Move the voltage regulator here. That's got to come out. Got to paint that because that just looks like crap. Solenoid's brand new. That's going to stay there. Probably haven't seen. I'm the master of spray paint. Look at that. It's a good looking fan. Woo. Dipstick. That's way, way, way down there. Yeah, so overall this motor does not look bad. A couple cans of spray paint, 1 can of Eastwood high heat paint. So yeah, now we got to go through, tear it all down, do it all over again. Quick funny story though, while I was putting the rims back on, kind of noticed, don't know if you can, got all these little squiggly marks around here. Here it's kind of tight. There it's kind of loose. Something's telling me these are not the right rims for this truck. And someone just ogged them out, which I'm fine with. I mean, I plan on getting new rims anyway. Probably new tires, even though these tires look fine. I haven't looked at the date code on them yet to see if they're like 15 years old. Oh no, 2016. So, not bad. So yeah, pretty happy with the progress today. And some exhaust parts just showed up, so I think since the collector's right here, start working on that after I get all this stuff set. So we'll be checking back in. Okay, gonna make this nice and simple. What we're dealing with here for the assembly is we are dealing with rivet nuts, riv nuts, whatever you want to call them. Real simple to deal with. Basically, all you want to do, drill a hole about the same size as the rivet nut. Pop it in place. You get your little handy tool here, which, just like a rivet gun, you're going to screw this on in. Once you're all the way in, just press down a little bit and squeeze it like a rivet gun. Unscrew it and you're all set. See, it threads right in. Now you have a threadable surface to work with. And you can see on the inside, just compresses this ring. And just the way it's designed, you can tighten it up and it won't spin either. So really nice to work with. Kind of professional looking. Did the rest. Didn't want to bore you. So moving on. Got about 30 more of these to do. But it takes longer to drill them than actually do them. Okay, next day here. As you can see, we are, I guess we could call it mocked down. You know, all the fender wells and everything are out. Got to do some sanding here. Realized as I was going through screwing this encapsulator is really not on here well. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. So we were going to roll this outside and do some priming today so we can get the whole front end together and get the battery tray in and get this thing running again, which is why we installed the gas tank. We threw that on this morning, all mounted in. Even got a nice little filter here. Just got to go through, you know, got a bunch of clips, hold that all into place. But since it snowed here this morning, not going to put it outside. We're just going through. We're mocking up all these little panels. I'm not 100% sure if this is exactly where they go, since I don't have the rockers or anything on yet, which I really can't put on until I put the fenders on and then line them all up. But that's not going to slow us down. So right now I'm just using little sheet metal screws. I'm not going to put the riv nuts in. This piece here, this piece kind of concerns me because all the pictures, I never saw this little notch sticking out. This may or may not be right, but we're going to find out. I mean, it does line up pretty straight with that one, so this is really the only way it could go. This piece here, this cutout's for the gas can. That's nice and simple. That's just going to zip right on there. And then we got this piece. This piece lines up pretty good. I'm not sure they're supposed to stick out that far, but we can always trim it even after it's Raptor line. The Raptor liner is easy enough to touch up because we are going to go through and we're going to touch up the original floor. You know, at least up to the firewall. Firewall's all nice and clean. We'll see. And just going through, I did want to keep some of this flat black, but I don't think that this is the area to keep it. So this homemade bumper or bracket mount, this is going to come back off. This is going to get Raptor lined also. So I'm going to keep going through, get all these pieces tucked into place, probably go under the truck, re-secure the gas line, and we'll see where we go from there. See you in an hour. Okay, little progress report. Is about an hour later or so. So went through, mocked up the rockers here. These are pretty close to where they're going to have to be. I mean, this truck only came with one rocker, so all I did basically was just, you know, measure with a piece of tape how far down they were. So this should be pretty close to where I'm going to end up, because I am Raptor lining the top of these, and then from the line down, this is going to go body color. Got all the pieces on, all four corners of the bed. Hope they're right, so they can come back off. Hoping to get into prime possibly tonight. I did shovel the driveway. It's drying out, so I might be able to get this out there. As you can see underneath, did the fuel line, got the fuel filter all up and mounted. Now, why did I put the fuel filter back here? Two reasons. One, I realized it was very, very tight once I put the inner fender on up in the motor compartment. And two, I can just clamp this line, disconnect that, just to be able to drain the gas tank in case I have to. Anything else? You can see that's on, that rocker's on. This is the fun part, putting it together. Went through, had a bunch of little caps, you know, capped up a bunch of stuff in here, holes that I'm not going to need, because this thing's going to be running pretty much on virtually no electronics. I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm going to have a key, I'm going to have a temp gauge. Yeah, I'm going to have directionals and headlights. And as far as the sound system, I have a nice Boss ATV 450 watt powered sub. All I need is power. That's going to go on the roll bar. And tailgate, been giving this a lot of thought. Tailgate I got is absolutely hammered. So probably what I'm going to do, going with the whole open theme. And not just because it'll save me $700, but yeah, it'll save me about $700. Probably just going to go with a net. It'll make it easier to fill this thing up. And a net's like $15. And I think it'll look pretty cool. So we'll see. So in the meantime, I'm going to go through, reset. You can see the garage is just hammered. Let's take a look outside. Haven't been outside in a couple hours. So, yeah. Driveway's dry enough. Don't have to really worry about anything falling. Looks good. Carry on. Alrighty, so just got done emailing Tom's Bronco Parts, where I spoke to a nice gentleman over there. Explained my situation. I had all these nice clean metal parts with part numbers on the bottom of them. He sent me a picture of this particular piece, 9008, and this isn't it. Like I said, 3 of the pieces were just all steel. This one looks like it has weld-through primer on it, and no number or anything underneath of it. So they're sending me out a new one tomorrow, no big deal. However, I did realize these cutouts on the driver's side, yeah, you're gonna have one that goes here, and then one that goes here. I already took them off. These have these little cutouts here for the fuel tank. This truck, you know, it did come with 2 fuel tanks, one on each side. So my fenders, from what I remember, do not have the fuel tank this way. You know, at least the insert for it. So it's going to leave me with a big gap here once I get the sides on, I believe. So probably going to end up using that piece somehow and fabricating it over here. And we're going to have to circle back to that. So let me get that piece off, get all these in the house, get them warmed up so we can prime. Alright guys, so I think we're going to wrap this video up. So, like I said, probably going to be a couple weeks before you see the Bronco again. Next time you see it, hopefully the exhaust will be done. You can see I got the collector on right there. I already mocked it up a little bit. And seems like it's going to be fairly simple, nice and straightforward. Got to go inside. The worst part, anyone that does any sort of YouTube videos can agree with this. The worst part by far is editing. I probably have like 2 hours of footage that I got to chop down to like 20-25 minutes. So, yeah, we're going to wrap her up. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell and tell your friends, guys. Thanks for watching. Not what you think.